The number one tip for new flower farmers, I bet that's why you clicked here or you wanted to learn. It's about creativity. It's about saving your back. It's about saving time and being efficient. That's how you make a profitable farming business in the first year. Come on, go with me and you can check this out and see how I'm planting the ranunculus and the cool crops, or skip into the middle of the video and you can figure out what I'm using to make this more efficient and time saving, and where I don't have to hurt my back. Good morning, everyone. I'm getting a late start this morning. I'm going to be planting some ranunculus today, and I need to go get me some buckets to get started. Searching for a bucket and I found it. What I did is I added a little bit of concentrate neem oil inside of there. I'm about to go get some water real quick, start soaking the ranunculus. Some people say that you need to put your ranunculus in the water for at least 24 hours. And this would be my second time planting ranunculus. What I'm going to do is do the 4 to 6 hour trick. You know, you can find so much literature on what it takes to grow ranunculus, and I'm going to do the 4 to 6 hour trick. Wow, I can't pick that up. Look at that, it's going to drip or break, one of the two. I've got the water here. I'm going to let them soak in this concentrate of neem oil and water. A lot of the flower people who would know who I'm talking about, we got our ranunculus from Dave Dowling, and he is very smart on it. I was asking him what colors I should grow this year, and he works for Edney Ball Horticulture. He was telling me that, you know, pastels is a great one, pink is a good one, and white. And then I've got a mixture that my mentor had given me of maybe 100 or 200 extra of just all different colors. But I purchased the straight colors, and I'm going to try those out. Last year we grew them indoors under LED lights. This year we're going to grow them outside, and I'm going to try to put Agribon cover over top of them. What's great about ranunculus is that it's one of your first crops to come in early spring. And so with that, you have your flowering branches, but then you have your peonies or peonies, however you want to call it, and then you have your ranunculus. Well, right here, I'm opening them up, and they came all the way from Holland, which is really cool. I had to wait quite a bit, and of course, a bunch of you also do as well, but it just makes me excited to know that I have all these colors coming in. So we have porcelain. I'll open this up. But look how small these little guys are. Real small. They do give good quality, they do send you a decent variety of good quality though. We're just gonna try it out, drop them in. What will happen is once they start to get swollen a little bit, they'll start to rise up. Hold on, Hamilton. You know what I just realized? I can't put them all in the same bucket. I'll lose the color. I want them all in straight colors. It's easier to pick that way. All right, we got the porcelain. Next, we'll have the pastels, which are a little bit larger of the ranunculus is a little bit larger of a size. Look at those. They're much larger. Hopefully, my goal is to shoot for 5 to 7 stems. I'm going over the package invoice right now, or the package slip. I think I paid like 50 cents a piece for them. Whatever it may have been, I think it's like 250 bucks. I can't remember, they never put it on these. But I paid like $250 for 300 of them. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think that was somewhere close to that, I don't know. I paid $250 for 300 of them. So, and that was with the shipping involved. My goal and my guess is to make out of each one is maybe 5 to 7 stems per return per plant. So after 300, 3 times 7 is 2,100 stems I'm hoping for out of this. Hopefully I can get $1 or more for them. I'm going to shoot for $1 at least. And that should be $2,100 off a $300 investment. With my time, of course, up on the hill, but that's just going to be one row. I may have $60 to $100 invested on the Agribon cover and the PVC pipe to go up there. But other than that, you know, say $500 for that row to come out with $2,100, that's a good return on investment. Let's go soak the rest of these and I'll show you what I'm doing for the rest of the day here. Ranunculus is a great way to get started in the early spring along with your flowering branches because it's one of the first crops that come in that's a perennial. And you can use that to your advantage because then it creates your first part of cash flow, as well as if you have flowering branches. And my recommendation, I would go around to your local people that you know to see if they have crabapple trees, plum, pear, cherry, whatever it might be, to be able to get those blooming branches off of there and try to contact your local wholesaler, because that is where the money's at. It's not so much a lot of money, but it's a start of a great cash flow coming in the early spring. Okay, I've got the porcelain here. Here's the pastels. I think this will do really well for like early weddings. Pastels is a great color. The only problem I hope I don't run in is getting them all mixed up. That would be a nightmare. Which honestly, that happens quite a bit. I'm not the most organized person. And then I've got the pure white. My thoughts on the pure white is that with the dahlias, we run into a lot of situations where we have a lot of pest problems. And I think it's because it's, you know, the mature season of all the pests flying around. But with these, hopefully, you know, early spring, they might not be flying around as much because it'll be a lot colder. And when it's a lot colder, all the insects move a lot slower. So hopefully we can do really well with that and don't have such a pest load to have to worry about. I keep making runs back and forth to the house, but now I have a little bit more ranunculus that I was telling you about that my mentor had given me. How crazy is that for somebody just to give you some? He's like, oh, just have it. I don't think he was doing it again because we done it indoors last year, if you remember that I said that. So let me grab that real quick and we'll put that in there and start the timer. I really don't know how many is in here, but look at that, a bag full. There's probably, I don't know, at least 200 in here, and I believe they're 2 years old because when you get them, they're a year old, and then we grew them last year, so that's a year. Now they're on their third year. So hopefully we get quite a bit out of these. The other thing that I was going to talk about a little bit is some people use dripping or running water to oxygenate the water as they are soaking up. And that's not what we're going to do today. We're just going to put them in some water, maybe go mix them around every now and then because we do have 4 to 6 hours here. We'll probably do the maximum amount of 6 hours, but man, that's probably $200. Look, there's an anemone in there too. Or sorry, that's not an anemone. That's a calla lily. I don't know why I said anemone. I do have anemones that he gave me as well. So those are really great. We're going to put those out on the hill. Man, we have so much great stuff that's coming out here. We're definitely going to need to find a bigger bucket for these. I don't even remember what colors were in here. That's the crazy part. So I'm going to put them all together. I think there were some reds and some other things, but I really don't even know. I can't remember. We had a lot of flowers in the basement last year, and this was just one of them. I think we had anemones, ranunculus, we had dahlias in there, we had calla lilies, and then we had some giant lilies in there. So, I mean, they were like this tall. I mean, I'm 5'9", and they were like this, even taller. I know I'm short, but that's what I'm saying. They were up here, inside, under LED lights. In the next couple of weeks, that's what you'll start to see is that we're going to be transitioning into the indoor area. And I'll be doing, try to do a lot of clones for next year, just to get everything out. And we have a couple cloning machines that maybe we can pull out and to do a little bit of learning as we go kind of thing, because I've never used them before. I've always cloned myself, and I make the little rooted cuttings of the dahlias, but we'll try it out, see how it works. We got a bigger bucket we can use. That may have been way too much. We may need something larger. All right, we got all that together, soaking. This is the mystery bucket. Then we have porcelain, pastels, and white. This bucket was empty. One thing I'd like to show you real quick is the fish emulsion. What I've been telling everybody to keep. Look, when we don't have a fence around our area or a property, this is what keeps the deer away. Right here, the fish emulsion. Plus it's a fertilizer and it smells terrible. It'll keep the groundhogs away, the squirrels away, the rabbits away, everything. All right, we've made it to the hill. Last night, I had to be out here working on all of this, and Merida and Keslin and Vincent went to the park, and they also went and got a milkshake. But you know, I've spent so much time on this, so many hours, and the reason why I bring up the fish emulsion is because it is needed. You don't want just the deer coming around here or any other animal just to come mess with the ranunculus when they're really not going to eat it. They're just going to rip it up and rip all the hard work that you've done. So I'm going to link that in the description as well as the neem oil. And if you need it, please, you know, I'm asking you, please purchase it from us, because that's what supports our family, and you are allowing us to keep going on this project. So I'm going to link it in the description, and we'll keep moving. I can already see the deer tracks out here. And in some of the previous videos, I've told you how I had a 54-inch track to run up through the mower. Well, I've squeezed them down that you can see right here that they're going to be real small where I can only get a wagon through. And I'm going to maximize this hill to see what I can put. So one row of this ranunculus, in essence, at, say if there's 500 of those ranunculus in there, at 500 and you want 5 stems a piece, that's 2,500, hopefully $2,500 to 3,000 bucks on one row. So it is profitable. You just have to stay with it and consistent, and it's going to be hard work this winter, keeping the weeds out and making sure that they don't freeze, putting 4 to 6 inches of mulch on them, putting the agribond cover on them, putting the PVCs over top of them. But it will be worth it. If you have 5 of these rows, what's coming in the springtime? This is our second year doing this, like I was telling you, and we want to make sure that we put the fish emulsion on it, that we put the neem oil on it, because it's important to our family to keep going. Right now, I am going to go through with the mower, if I can get that together, and find a wire, because I made like a little makeshift spreader that will pull the grass clumps out, that flattens it up for us. And I put a tire on top of it, trying to use our recycled stuff just to be sustainable. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start that and try to level out all these rows. And then today we're gonna try to plant some yarrow. We're gonna try to plant larkspur. And then we're gonna definitely plant our ranunculus. Instead of using a rake, this is the way to do it. Grab you a hog panel with a tire, with some cinder blocks. Tie it up, pull it behind something that you have, like a mower or a four-wheeler, or I don't know if you want to get your minivan out there, but I guess you could. One of those, and once you have that, you'll be able to flatten those out, pull the grass clumps out, and be able to plant. If you have a cedar, that's exactly what you need, because the cedar takes, you know, it's very tedious and you need fine soil. So you can work that up. I'm not sure why I put everything on the mower, because I need the mower. I don't have a minivan, so I'll have to get this. Just a second. You don't need to buy everything brand new. You just have to be, I don't know, think outside of the box a little bit. I'm going to use this strap, even though it looks crazy. I'm going to use this strap with the cattle panel with the tire. We'll see how it works. It may not work. But if you're going to be afraid to fail, then fail hard. Look at that, flat as can be. You don't have to have an expensive equipment, just some old junk laying around. Okay, so I'm gonna keep working on that one, and I've got to fix the tiller. But for now, I'm gonna work on these rows and get them prepped, and then hopefully get some seeds in the ground before this afternoon. That's the most important part, is just getting the seeds in the ground. I see some worms, and about mending the soil. Right now, what we have been doing is putting the goats on the hill, of course, and lime is a rock. And so we have put a lot of lime on here to regulate the pH balance. Lime brings it to a neutral place so that you can be able to have your amendments be accepted into the soil. You can plant some cover crops if you're that concerned about your soil. We did have a soil test done saying that we needed 2,000 pounds of lime, 2,000 pounds of fertilizer per acre. You can go to your local extension agent office if you are interested in that and you're a farmer. They should give it to you for free, I believe. That's how the state of Virginia does it. Who says you can't use a mower to do a job? A lot easier on my back. Got it flat and there's no dirt clumps through there. I didn't have to use a rake and that works for me. I'll add more rows up there once that's done up there, but it'll just keep blooming until probably a hard cold on us. All right, the number one tip that everybody's been waiting for is to be innovative, to be creative, to use everything that you have around your farm, around your house, and to be recycled. It doesn't always have to be that big strike and check that you're writing out. It just has to be creative. Listen. Miranda's singing in there. I guess she's having a great day baking cakes. The magic box. This box makes magic, and the magic is work. Let's go plant. Larkspur Giant Mix. Now, there's one thing I'll say about mix, and it's that it's a little bit harder to pick through because when you're selling to certain people, they want straight colors. But if you're a bouquet maker or a CSA developer, or I don't know what the word for that is, but or a farmer's market person, mix is fine because you're going to use all of it. I have 5,000 seeds. Look in there. Guess you can't really see, can you? I got 5,000 seeds and I'm going to try to plant all of them or maybe half of them to see what they will do. I broadcasted these over across the row here that I have, but one thing you do need to have them germinate is no light. So we're going to cover the sides up and push it in and then water them down pretty well. Also, you want them to be about a 1/4 inch down when you're doing this process. I lightly tossed the side of the soils or the topsoil over on top about a 1/4 inch. Tried not to disturb the seed too much and it's done. The larkspur is done. We have to water it in for sure just to make sure, but remember, it does not need light to germinate. It needs darkness. The next thing, I'm gonna jump in the box, see what else we have. All right, the next thing that we're going to be planting is rutabaga. I've got Cherokee Sunset, which these are a little bit different. They're not gonna be like a solid yellow. It's gonna be like a fall color, really. It's gonna be Cherokee Sunset and then Indian Summer. Those two I think will sell pretty well, and especially in the fall time, people are looking for that orangey, burnt color, and I think these will do well, like a burgundy. You can't keep a burgundy dahlia and you can't keep an orange dahlia either. So let's try these, we'll plant them out. They do need sunlight to germinate, so we're just going to lightly throw some soil over so that they can just hold. So that was about $1 a foot. I planted about $25 worth of seed because it was a different couple colors, that's something new. $25, and that's about $1 a foot basically going up through there. I expected a little bit more, but the good thing about those is that they're a perennial and they're really evasive. I think Mama has sent little baby Keslin out. Did Mama send you out here?
Yeah.
Oh, see, told you. I got 1, 2, 3 rows planted. I guess that's probably, I don't know, 150 foot worth of planting done this morning. It's 12 o'clock, but I've got all the other rows prepped. So then I'm gonna have this one here. Oops. I'm gonna have this one here that I think is 150 foot or 130 foot, and that's gonna be all of the ranunculus. That will be 150, probably 300 foot done of planting. 300 foot's a lot, and especially on the 12 hours. That is a great efficient tool to use. Is my little piece right over there with the tire tied onto it, a ratchet strap, and a cattle panel. Helped me do all of this so I didn't have to use the rake. I've got the rake, but it was just to cover up the soil. It wasn't to flatten it out, wasn't to do any of that. So we're gonna mix up these ranunculus a little more. and we're gonna go in and take a break. All right, Kevin. What do these look like?
Fish emulsion.
Come over here. She said fish emulsion, didn't you?
Yeah.
She knows what fish emulsion is, back to what we were talking about previously in the video. She knows that fish emulsion keeps the deer away. They're soaking up, aren't they?
Yeah, that's good.
Right now I'm just aerating them. They're getting bigger. You can see that they're starting to take in the water, which is crazy to see that in just a few hours time. You ready to eat some lunch? Let's go eat lunch. That was a good little break. Miranda had made a cake for us, gluten-free. I don't know, probably vegetarian, vegan-free or whatever. No. Or a vegan can eat it or something, I don't know. Our little puppy waiting on us out the door. Time to go plant some more. Look what I got now. I know what you're thinking, it's overkill. But this thing makes it so much more faster and efficient to be doing the job. I'm just putting these ranunculus about 2 inches deep and about 4 inches apart. So that's what I'm gonna work on now. If you have never used one of these, then you're missing the point of life. This thing is awesome. I mean, I just done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 holes in just a few seconds. 40 holes with this thing, probably less than 15 seconds, 40 holes. That's where it comes into it. We need to be efficient. This is cheap. You know, I think I may have paid $12 or $15. I can't remember what it was. I'll link this down in the description below, but you need one of these. This is the thing to use. If you have a drill, you need one of these. The prep work is the hardest work. I have now waited a few hours and I have got my white ranunculus here. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to plant this first, and the reason for that is because everything else that I know, white and darker colors always have a problem. So I want to be able to see this first, and this is the first thing on the hill when you walk up here, so that you're able to know when we're having some pest problems, and hopefully that we can catch it in time in case there was a big outbreak of something. "15 foot, I got 100 white ranunculus planted. Now I have 200 more that I need to plant that I currently bought this season, plus the ones that were given to me. Hopefully I can make it to the top. I'm grabbing another one real quick. I'm gonna go with the pastel. We'll see what that does. One thing that I haven't really went over is how you place the ranunculus in. You want the spikes essentially to go straight down into the soil around 2 inches, and from 2 inches you want to go up every 4 inches and plant the next one. Right now we're at about 25 foot in, and we almost got half of our porcelain planted. Even if you haven't ever grown these, what do you think would sell the best? Best thing about all of these is that when you find a unique flower, you don't have to go around selling the flower and be nervous walking into somewhere. If you know that the flower's pretty and people say, oh my gosh, that's beautiful and gorgeous, that's all you got to know. You don't have to be cocky or arrogant. You just walk in with confidence. It's like, here's what I got. They sell themselves. I'll tell you though, that number one tip is just become great with being efficient. For a new farmer, it's very frustrating to not know or understand experience or what you need to be doing. And you lose your temper sometimes with the soil or the seed, or get frustrated and you just like want to throw in the towel and quit. Well, the thing is be as efficient as possible, but also be resourceful. Those are the things that will make a business profitable, especially a farming business. You don't have to have the greatest things. You don't have to have the coolest looking things, just something that works, that's efficient, that you don't get frustrated with, and that you can keep on building on each year. And the time that it comes and then the profit that comes, you can buy your new stuff. We're not putting any special drip irrigation on this or soaker hoses. Anything that we might do, the house is literally right there. So we'll just run a hose that's about 150 foot long over here and just kind of give a shower, and that will help keep everything moist. But over at the farm is completely different. We're not there, so we use the drip tape irrigation system. And this is just a super cheap way of getting into it. Once again, if you have to, just use it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just using the water hose here. And that has made me and helped me profit because you don't need all the special extra stuff. 615 is what I counted. That's a big number. I don't know if that's true, but it seems like it. After doing the math of 15 foot equals 100 each, I've got 6. And then I've got 1 3-foot patch up there. So anyways, if that's the case, our bare minimum is what we should be reaching for this day is $3,000. I don't know if that's going to work out, but that's what I would expect. Thanks for watching with the Flower Guy.